r/rules horror. Posted by u/suchvanilla3655. Rules to get to Wintertown. Do you love the snow, and/or ice? Maybe it's the soft fluff under your foot when you walk in the snow, or the sound of each crunch as you walk over a light and thin layer of ice. It can even be the feel of the cold or the looks of wonder it brings. Or even just a deep longing for a cold winter, one you never truly had. But for the select few, you might hear the secrets that snow and ice share. Some whispers of a better place perhaps, or the way the falling snow seems to tell you the answer to a problem on your test you couldn't figure out. If any of these are true, you are a child of the winter. Though I have to be honest with you, as a guardian of the children of the winter, I wouldn't be doing my duty if I wasn't after all. But once you join the kingdom of the winter, there is no leaving it. While you may always visit your friends or family, you won't be allowed to stay with them anymore or bring them with you. Additionally, if you are not a child of the winter, this letter won't help you, as my assistance is saved for the children of the winter, and while I won't actively try to harm you like some of the guardians of the other kingdoms, to put it quite bluntly, I won't help you either. With all of that being out of the way, I will now be sharing the rules of how to get to the Winter Kingdom, or more specifically Wintertown, as that's where all the winter children reside. General rules. Rule 1. The Winter Kingdom is more strict than the other 4 kingdoms. Because of this, the Winter Kingdom is only open during January. Trying to get inside of the kingdom during any other month won't work. Rule 2. 2 or more inches of snow will be required to enter the Winter Kingdom. Rule 3. You must attempt this alone, or with other known children of the winter. Rule 4. Usually the winter will start to seek you once it knows you are coming home. Because of this, it's best to go as soon as possible once you decide to go. Because while the winter is a friend of yours, the same can't be said for your family or even town. Rule 5. Avoid making things of the snow. As you start to get closer to Wintertown, your powers will start to manifest, which can start mishaps. Rule 6. To get to Snowtown, you must walk deep inside the woods. As you are walking inside the woods, you must not follow a path. This is because paths are grounded, and what you need is to get lost in the storm. Rules for in the woods. Rules 1. Never turn back. No matter what, you must face forward. Turning back can lead to you going back in time, and I can't help you then. Rules 2. Bring a week's worth of food and water. While the forest will always provide, you can't 100% trust your mind. Rules 3. Assuming you don't have the skills to build a shelter, you must bring a tent. This also includes matches and a lighter for a fire. Rules 4. Along the way you should notice an animal following you. Assure you this is a winter animal. If not, try to act like you didn't notice it, but pick up your pace if they can reach you. Here they are growing in power, which means that soon they will be able to catch you. Rules 5. When you are there, you will see a giant stone. You should feel an icy chill, and snow should start directly falling on you. Rule 6. If you should feel anything besides ice and snow, then you are not a child of the winter. If you should feel the heat, you are a child of the summer, and you will burn as the ice pierces your heart and freezes your bones. The summer folk will pay for their crimes against the winter empire. After all, winter conquers all. Next story of this video. Posted by u/afraid_government_74. Almost there, eternally. You jolt into consciousness. You are sweating, arms shaking and barely functional. In shock, not understanding where you are, you try to stand up in a panic, but your legs give out from under you the second that you try. The cold stone floor that you are laying on soothes your aching muscles, but that isn't what worries you. Temporarily putting the absurdity of the situation in the back of your head, you begin to observe your surroundings, but only 2 things catch your eye. A seemingly infinite ladder stretching above where you can see a few feet in front of you, and a note. In an adrenaline-induced daze, you ignore the ladder, and you pick up the worn piece of paper and begin reading. The rules of salvation. Rule 1. The ladder will grant you escape. Begin climbing and never stop until you reach the top. Rule 2. This will be the single greatest test of mental fortitude that you have ever experienced, but you must endure. The consequences for falling are greater than you can comprehend. Rule 3. It may become harder to climb as time goes on. The ladder may become barbed, or you may feel things trying to pull you down. You will suffer, but you cannot let that stop you. Rule 4. Think about what you have done as you ascend. It will pass the time, and allow for you to reach the top faster. Rule 5. Do not listen to the whispers. They will tell you to let go. They will tell you to give up. They will tell you what really lies at the top. Do not listen. Rule 6. The ladder's rungs are the remains of those who faltered. Feel the weight of their failures with every step, and let it drive you forward. You had been climbing for hours. Bruises, bloodied welts, and exposed bone covered your body. You felt your hands struggle to let go of the rungs as the spiked ladder stuck into your hand with every movement. Flames licked your feet as you tried climbing faster to escape, but they met your desperate flailing with an increased hunger. Attempting to ignore the grueling pain, you reflected upon your life, and how you had ended up here. You were not a good man, and you knew this. The idea of bringing up your past sins hurt almost as much as what you were going through. But before you had time to think about the past, you felt a gust of wind hit your face from above. Slowly, with every rung put below you, the spikes retracted, the whispers disappeared, and the flames began to pull back. With a final show of willpower, you pushed yourself to keep climbing. Suddenly, you had reached the surface. With the last remaining bit of strength that you had, you pulled yourself onto a familiar cold stone floor. The damage covering your body healed, and the hole beneath you sealed. You wildly looked around, completely shocked by what you were seeing. It was the very same stone room you had started out in, with what looked to be the very same ladder sitting in front of you. As you began breaking down, tears dripping onto the hard ground, you noticed an unidentifiable man gracefully walking through the inky black that surrounded you. His most striking feature was his legs being that of a goat, although somehow longer and less refined. He stopped in front of you, pausing for a moment. You slowly raised your tear-stained face to meet his, and could barely comprehend what you had seen. Something resembling a smile warped onto his grotesque face as he slowly placed a familiar worn note in front of you and began to fade into the darkness. The memories of the ladder and the place you were in began to fade yet again, in an endless cycle that you couldn't remember. You yelled and reached out towards the abyss, but nothing happened. You were ignored. With your willpower fading along with your memories, you collapsed to the ground. Subconsciously, you knew your body wouldn't be able to do this again.